What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having a great day. If you're new here, make sure to check out the links in the top comment. I'm going to be putting a link to our private investing community where I tell you what stocks I'm buying and selling in real time. Get 4 free stocks when you download the Webull investing app. And I also put a link to my podcast called Michael on the Mic, where I talk about business news, stock news, and other tech news, things that I just find interesting in general. So make sure to check that out if you're interested. Yesterday, on March 11, 2021, Ark Invest purchased over $544 million of stocks. This was a big buying day. They purchased dozens and dozens of stocks. They added to a lot of the positions. They added tens of millions of dollars to some stocks. They added a lot to some, and they also added to stocks that I've never heard of. And we're going to go over 2 of those in today's video a little deeper, go into them a little bit more. But first, let's start off with their big purchases. What is going on there? Some of the more common stocks, the ones that we all know about, and the ones that we've already spoken about. After that, we'll get into the less common ones, 2 that I found pretty interesting that I did a little research into. Top of the list for yesterday was Teladoc. Ark Invest purchased $83.5 million of Teladoc. They added 420,000 shares, and they added it to basically all of their ETFs. They added it to ARKK, ARKW, ARKG, and ARKF. They added it to 4 different ETFs, and currently, Teladoc is one of their largest holdings. They have about $1.4 billion in ARKK, $300 million in ARKW, $700 million in ARKG, and $53 million in ARKF. So with that, they have well over $2 billion in total in Teladoc across all of their ETFs. So that's in TDOC is the stock ticker symbol. Last week alone, they purchased about $200 million of this. And after the recent drop-off, tech stocks and a lot of these high growth stocks have had, they've been buying up heavy. So that's the first one. The second one, obviously Tesla. They purchased another $51 million of Tesla. Square, Roku, Zillow, all of these they purchased more than $20 million of. These are all big names, companies that we already know about. Telehealth, telemedicine, are industries that Ark Invest project to grow very rapidly, be the main drivers of growth over the next 5 years. So it makes sense that they're adding Teladoc. Tesla, they're extremely bullish on adding more Tesla. Same with Square, financial services, and online payments. Square is another big company in the space. Other companies that they did add to were Skills, Baidu, Shopify, Spotify, and Exact Sciences. With Skills have some major partnerships as of recently, and they're continuing to grow. They just announced their earnings the other day. They did better than expected, and the stock has been continuing to rise. So Ark Invest purchased about $18 million of Skills, about 640,000 shares of it. Another company that I really like personally is Spotify. They purchased $15 million of Spotify. Spotify is a company where I feel like most people use Spotify. A lot of people have a Spotify account. It's so easy for music. I love it. Mark Zuckerberg has come out previously. He said that that's his favorite non-Facebook app, and it's a lot of people's favorites. They've been adding more. They're trying to add more into their podcasting space, grow and expand into that so they can generate more revenue. It's been working. They've gotten a lot of big names there. So that's another addition that I really like with Ark Invest. Some of the less known companies are scrolling down into some of the smaller ones. I was looking for companies that were around $10 a share, companies that I've never heard of, that I saw them buying. And a couple of them that I found just yesterday. We're going to go over 2. So the first one that we're going to go over is called Lending Club. And Ark Invest, they purchased yesterday of Lending Club. Let's look it up. Lending Club. Stock ticker symbol LC. They added it to their ARKW and ARKF ETF. They purchased about $2.9 million of it. In total, they have right now $52 million in ARKW and $24 million in ARKF. So what Lending Club is. They're an American peer-to-peer lending company headquartered in the US, and it's the first peer-to-peer lender to register its offerings as securities with the SEC and offer loan trading on a secondary market. This company, over the last 5 years, has not had the best of runs. They have come down quite a bit over the last 5 years. If we look at it, 5 years ago, this stock was trading at around $50 a share. Now it's around $12.78 per share. Last year at one point it was down to $5 a share. However, they've done a lot of changing of their business model. They're setting up for massive growth for the next couple of years, and they're only at a $1.16 billion market cap. So Ark Invest owns about 7% of the entire company. Recently, Lending Club, they just announced their fourth quarter and they missed on revenue. However, in terms of revenue and how they generate money, so this company the company plans to invest in 15 to 25% of loans originated in the marketplace, still allowing investors to invest in about 80% of the loans. And according to their filings, the bank will now obtain $4 million in origination fees on every $100 million in loans, plus $12 million in net interest income over the life of the loan. So essentially, they're fintech loan company. They've been growing very rapidly, and while the pandemic and everything with the virus hit the business pretty hard in terms of the total originations they saw, they're starting to come back. They're projecting high revenue and a lot of growth over the next couple years. Their guidance for Q1 was much better than expected. They said that their guidance is about $87 to $95 million in net revenue. And if you're looking at this company, their revenue for next year, they're projecting $488 million in revenue, which is about 50% growth year over year, and they're only a $1.16 billion company. This isn't a full breakdown, but looking at it, they have about $500 million in revenue, $1.16 billion valuation. You have to look more into the numbers, and we could do a deeper dive into this in another video, but it is an interesting company. It has taken a big hit, hasn't fully recovered yet, but the business is looking to do much, much better this year, so could be an interesting buy to look into. Another stock I want to point out that Ark Invest did add that I hadn't heard of was a company, you guys might get upset with this, that I've never heard of this company, but a company called Ping An Health and Technology. And this company, right now, the stock ticker symbol is... This stock, they own about $48 million of in their ARKF ETF. And essentially, what this company is a telehealth player in China. And they have a market share of about 70% in the Chinese market, which is huge. Any company in China that has that large of a market share really is going to be getting a lot of government support. They're not going to be shrinking. They're going to continue to grow, especially telehealth. The Chinese government's going to make sure this company succeeds, especially with the market share they have, the industry they're in. I'm pretty bullish on this. Again, this isn't a deep dive. This is just a quick overview. So, according to analysts, telehealth, that market, that sector, is going to grow over 60% in the next 20 years, and that's going to be the key driver of growth for this stock. Ping An Healthcare and Technology, stock ticker symbol is PIAHY. So PIAHY is the largest player by far in China, 70% market share. And while China has lagged behind the US in terms of adoption of telehealth and telemedicine with regulations and other things in place with the Chinese government, the growth potential here is huge because the company is just getting started in this space, and in China, telehealth and telemedicine is a very small market that is on the verge of absolutely exploding. So just wanted to give you a heads up on this company. If you like to see a full breakdown of this, let me know in the description. But Ark Invest did purchase about $2 million of this stock they purchased $12 million of this stock the other day. And I found this surprising because $12 million in a day is a lot, considering they own about $50 million total. And to me, that seemed like a pretty big purchase for a company that I've never heard of. So when I see that, when I see a company I've never heard of, I see a stock that is a pretty low price, I like to look into it, especially with Ark Invest, because I want to see, what does the company do? What industry are they in? Why is Ark Invest buying so much of it? So that's just a quick update on some of the major buys and some not as well-known names from Ark Invest from March 11th. 2021 on Thursday. I'm going to be doing an update like this every single day, so make sure to let me know what other types of videos you want. If you want full breakdowns of any of these stocks, a couple of you guys asked for detailed updates every single day on what Chamath is doing. I'll do my best on that. However, we don't have updates on him every single day because he doesn't have an ETF like Ark Invest where we can actively look at what stocks he's buying and selling. It's only based on when he makes announcements. So he doesn't do it every day, but when he does, I'll make sure to keep you guys updated on that. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Let me know how you guys do in the market today. Looks like it's going to be down a bit. US, the 10-year yields hit a record high, 1.61%. They rose about 8 basis points overnight. So been a little scared now in the tech space overnight with stocks. They're taking a little bit of a hit because of these treasury yields. So we'll see what happens, but hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to get your 4 free stocks, each valued up to $1,600 when you download the Webull investing app using the link down below. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.